so what we've covered so far in the sutta takes us through section number 4, knowing that covetousness and unrighteous greed and so on is an imperfection that defiles the mind. The bhikkhu abandons it. And so this is repeated for each of the other defilements. Okay, so now we come to paragraph number 5. Okay, when a bhikkhu has known that covetousness and unrighteous greed is an imperfection that defiles the mind, or a defilement of the mind, and has abandoned it, when he has known that all of the others are imperfections that defile the mind, and has abandoned it, he acquires unwavering confidence in the Buddha thus. Okay, here the text uses a very specific expression, or an expression that has a very specific meaning within the framework of early Buddhist doctrine. This is the expression that's translated unwavering confidence. In Pali, this is in Pali, this is called Avecca Pasada. The word pasada is what's translated as confidence. The word implies a kind of settling of the mind, a pacification or settling down of the mind. And it's usually used to signify the kind of attitude that one person has towards another person in whom he has confidence or trust. And so if somebody sees, for example, somebody who's a devout Buddhist, sees a very pleasing statue or image of the Buddha, there will arise in the mind a kind of attitude of pasada, which is trust, confidence, accompanied by a feeling of peacefulness, and the mind settles down and becomes calm and composed. And now this word pasada is qualified by the expression avecca, which means, literally it means having undergone or having experienced. So what this means is the confidence that arises based upon some degree of experiential realization of the truth of the Dhamma. And so this is used in the text as a technical expression for the confidence that a noble disciple has, especially in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So this is the confidence that sets into the mind with the attainment of the first stage of enlightenment, the stage of ciega or stream entry. Up to that point, one can have simply pasada, confidence or trust in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. But it's with the attainment of stream entry that one sees the truth of the teaching, that one sees into the ultimate Dhamma. And so at that point, one has undergone the experience of seeing the truth of the Dhamma. And then there arises confidence in the triple gem based on that experiential realization of the truth. And in the text, we find occasional mention of 4 factors of stream entry. These are 4 factors that qualify a person as a stream enterer. And the first 3 of these are unwavering confidence in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Aryan Sangha, the community of the noble ones. And the 4th is a firm commitment to observance of the 5 precepts. It's said that the noble disciple is possessed of those virtues or those types of virtuous conduct which are dear to the noble ones, unbroken, unblemished, uncorrupted, and so on. Okay, so in paragraph 5, the text is describing this monk who has, to some extent, abandoned these defilements of the mind, describing such a one as at least a stream enterer. Okay, so it says that when the monk has known that these are the defilements of the mind and has abandoned them, then he acquires unwavering confidence in the Buddha thus. And then this is followed by the 9 epithets or 9 special qualities of the Buddha. So the Blessed One is, first, he's an accomplished one. The actual Pali word here is arahan. Itiviso bhagava arahan. So the Buddha is, first of all, he's an arahant, which means that he is one who has completely eradicated all defilements and achieved complete liberation from the cycle of samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Then beyond being an arhat, he's one who is perfectly or fully enlightened, one who understands fully all of the truths or principles of the Dhamma. He is one who has acquired true knowledge or higher knowledge and virtuous conduct, so that all aspects of his conduct are praiseworthy, upright, dignified. The next word is sukhato, very difficult to translate exactly into English. It means literally well gone. And it's explained to mean that he has gone along the good path, that's the Noble Eightfold Path, and he's gone to the good goal, which is the attainment of Nibbana. He is the knower of the world, the incomparable, or better, unsurpassed leader or trainer of persons to be tamed, the teacher of the gods, these are the devas, and human beings, the enlightened one and the blessed one, the one who possesses excellent, outstanding virtues. Okay, then he acquires unwavering confidence in the Dhamma, that the Dhamma is well proclaimed, well taught, well expounded by the Buddha, that it's visible here and now in this very life, that it's immediately effective, that as one practices, one can gain the benefits in this very life, that it's inviting inspection, that is, it calls upon one to examine it, to put it into practice, and to see the benefits for oneself. It leads onward, and it's to be experienced by the wise for themselves. Okay, then next he has unwavering confidence in the Sangha. And here what's meant by the Sangha is not necessarily the monastic order. We say that the monastic order, the order of fully ordained monks and nuns, is, I would call it, the visible representation of the Sangha. But the actual Sangha, which is the third refuge and the third jewel, is not the monastic order, but it is the spiritual community of those who have realized the truth of the Buddha's teaching. This is the community of the noble persons. So it's said that the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing the good way, practicing the straight way, practicing the true way or the effective way, practicing the proper way. Then comes the specification of who is the Sangha of the Buddha's disciples. It's the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 types of individuals that it is. Okay, this means it's the 4 pairs of persons. That is the stream enterer, the once returner, the non-returner, and the arahat. And those who have entered on the irreversible paths leading to those 4 stages of attainment. So we take, for each type of person, there is the path attainer and the one who has reached the fruit of the path or the goal of the path. So in this way we have 4 pairs of persons or 8 individuals. And then it said, this Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of reverential salutation. That is what is called, in Pali, it's called Anjali, which is putting the hands, the palms of the hands together and then bowing the head. The unsurpassed field of merit for the world. So making gifts and offerings to the Aryan Sangha generates great amount of punya, good merit or wholesome karma that leads to one's well-being and happiness in life after life. Okay, so these are the first 3 factors of stream entry, or the disciples at each of the higher stages also have these 3 types of unwavering confidence. Okay, so when the Buddha speaks about this disciple as acquiring the 3 types of unwavering confidence, it signifies that this disciple is now at least a stream enterer, but he could also be once returner or non-returner. But in this context, not yet an arhat. Okay, we can see this from the next section in the sutta. He goes on to say, when he has given up, expelled, released, abandoned, and relinquished, that is, these defilements of the mind, to some extent, or in part. The text uses actually a rather rare expression, which means the expression it uses is indicated in note number 90. In Pali it reads yat odi, which means up to a certain limit, but not yet completely. So in other words, the text is suggesting that the disciple has eliminated these defilements partly, but not yet totally and completely. And we'll see that the disciple still has further work to do in order to reach the goal. Okay, so when he has eliminated these defilements in part, then he reflects back on his achievement, especially acquiring this unwavering confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And so when he reflects back first on his unwavering confidence in the Buddha, then he gains, here we have an expression I've translated, he gains inspiration in the meaning, he gains inspiration in the Dhamma, he gains gladness connected with the Dhamma. Okay, the Pali for this term the Pali for this expression that's translated inspiration in the meaning, this is Attaveda, and inspiration in the Dhamma is Dhammaveda. Now this word Veda, of course, has a very important meaning in the context of Indian spirituality. This was the word that the Brahmins used to signify their collections of sacred texts, sacred scriptures. They called them the Vedas. And so these are the hymns and verses and poems that the very early Brahmins had composed and preserved in a very old form of Sanskrit called Vedic Sanskrit. It's a very beautiful language. But the word Veda itself is related to it's based on the root vid, which means both to know and to feel. So the word Veda combines these two, we can say it has two facets. It's a kind of knowledge which is accompanied by an elevated feeling. And it's a feeling which is accompanied by knowledge. And so the word inspiration here, it's not really so adequate, but it's almost impossible to find an English word which is able to unify these two implications of the word Veda. Maybe we could think of it as a kind of inspired knowledge, a knowledge that's suffused with a feeling of exhilaration and exaltation. Okay, so the commentary also explains this word Veda to mean knowledge accompanied by joy. So he's gaining knowledge of the Dhamma, but also experiencing the joy of the Dhamma. Joy, knowledge, and joy in the meaning and in the teaching. And then this leads into what is here translated gladness. But again, gladness is, I think, too weak a word. It's pamoja, which would be maybe better translated joy or even exhilaration. Exhilaration connected with the Dhamma. So when he is exhilarated, then there arises in him a rapture. Here the word rapture, this is the Pali word piti. It's a very uplifting type of joy. So we might even translate this elation. Elate, it's a joy or rapture. Again, that's accompanied by a sense of elation. And then when this rapture is developed, then the body and the mind settle down and become tranquil. And then one whose body and mind have become tranquil experiences sukha, which is translated pleasure. This is not the sensual pleasure, but this is a very refined inner pleasure, or even we could maybe render this as bliss. And then one who feels pleasure or who experiences this bliss, the mind becomes concentrated. Here the verb used, samadhi, is connected to the noun samadhi. So we have here a sequence that begins with unwavering confidence in the Buddha. And so the noble disciple will, in meditation, take the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha as the objects of meditation. And then by focusing on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, a kind of inspiration, an inspired knowledge will arise in him. And this will give rise or be accompanied by this feeling of gladness or exhilaration. And then as this exhilaration is developed, it will evolve into rapture, in uplifting joy, a sense of elation. The elation, as it's developed, will lead to a settling down or calming down of the body and mind, focused on either the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as object. Through the settling of the mind, then this inner feeling of pleasure or blissfulness will arise, this kind of tranquil, like a stream of cool bliss pouring into the mind. And as the mind is suffused by this feeling of cool bliss, then it becomes settled and well focused on its object, so that it enters into samadhi. Okay, so this is kind of samadhi is developed based on the Buddha, based on the Dhamma, based on the recollection of the Sangha, and based on the consideration that one has, or the reflection that one has abandoned, at least in part, these defilements of the mind.